Hey guys, welcome to day number 52, where I meditate every day for 2 hours and then share my experiences with you guys. So, last night I received the divine gift of an extremely intense night terror. I woke up and I just felt so much fear in my being. And I haven't felt that much fear for a long time. And the reason it was such a gift is because through meditating every day for 2+ hours for like the last 52 days, I feel like I was able to be with this fear from a whole new place of awareness. I was able to bring a whole new perception to it, and I was able to see it, the whole process of it, much more clearly. And that's what I want to share with you guys is what my personal truth of my night terror last night was, and maybe my personal truth and my experience and my feelings of it can help you guys with your own experiences of your own fear. So when I initially woke up, and I woke up from a nightmare, a very cleverly orchestrated nightmare, I just felt so much fear. And then I also was able to observe the mind's inability to deal with it, and how the mind was getting overwhelmed by it and creating a bunch of really dark stories about the fear. I was able to watch this movement. And the first thing that came up for me was, wow, this is helping me remember how intense these surges of terror can really be. You know, I had night terrors since I was a very small child, where I would jump out of bed, run into walls, run into my door, like trying to run into my parents' bedroom, right? Just wait, and that would happen often as a child. So I feel like I came into this life with lots of like fear trauma from past lives. And so dealing with so much fear my whole life, and especially right in the beginning of my kundalini awakening, when all that fear was really coming up, I was reminded of how intense and how overwhelming this fear can be for the mind. And what it did was it helped me to cultivate more compassion for those of you who are experiencing this amount of fear. Because I think, you know, for myself, when I go so long without feeling that much intense fear, or having one of those night terrors, or feeling that really, you know, just that dark terror arise, I can give a really good teaching about it. I can feel it in my body what I used to go through. I can give guidance, but sometimes I think that compassion element starts to fade a little bit, because I kind of almost forget how intense it can be. And so last night, that's what I was feeling. I was like, wow, this is really helping me cultivate that compassion for those of you experiencing so much fear, whether that's panic attacks, derealization, depersonalization, nightmares, the dark stories our mind can tell us, just feeling terror in your body. And I know how that is. I remember in my kundalini awakening, sometimes I would have day-long panic attacks. Like literally I would be at work all day in a panic attack, all day with huge amounts of terror arising, where I'd have to go outside and I'd be smoking cigarettes and crying. And I would be like, I thought I was doing better, you know, because I was in the middle of all this releasing and all this surrendering, and I was in this movement of letting go, and I would be like, I thought I was doing better. Where is all this terror coming from? And I would feel suicidal. Because there was so much terror for such a prolonged period. I thought something had gone wrong. So I know how overwhelming this movement of terror can be if that's something you're going through, or these panic attacks. But what I also realized, and of course it always passed, and after it passed, what happened was not only did I feel layers less of fear within my body, I felt layers more deepened into who I was. And then it was like, because I had the openness and the fearlessness to face my terror within me and my panic attacks, and because I went through that, I just felt so untouchable, like so fearless to anything out here afterwards. So not only did it lighten me, and really integrate so much of that, I think for me, past lives, of all that past life fear and trauma, it also deepened me into my inner being, into my true nature. And so when we're allowing this fear to come up, when we're having intense panic attacks, intense nightmares, and just overwhelming amounts of terror during our spiritual awakening process, when we're healing in this way, just know that it's bringing a depth to you that you will be so greatly appreciative for after it's passed. And the next time it comes up, you will have more of an openness to it and more of a willingness to feel it, because you can feel it just deepening you. You can feel it helping you to bring you to the truth of who you really are. And last night, and here's a movement for you that I discovered last night, because I was in it last night. I was in a really, there was a lot of terror coming up. And I asked God, I asked my higher self, help me to release this fear. Help me to let go of this fear. And I felt a little bit of support, but not really. I just was like, okay. And then I was thinking, what did I just say in a video yesterday? I said, this fear just wants love. So I asked my higher self, help me to love this terror. Help me to love this fear. And I immediately felt wave after wave of warmth, of this warm energy pouring into me, of this, just this supportive, loving energy descend into me. And it didn't necessarily take away the fear, but what it did is it offered me more support to love the fear, to love this fear. And that's when I was like, I have to share this, because this is the movement. Just like I was saying in the video, and when I said it in the video yesterday, I got goosebumps when I was saying it. And then the divine said, okay, now we're going to see, now we're going to give you a real opportunity to put your teaching, to put your guidance to work. And so last night, that's what happened. And I just felt all this warm support come in to help me to love this fear. And looking at this fear after 52 days of meditating every day for 2 hours, what I feel it was is this: when we meditate, when we listen to silence for long periods every day, we really create a vast openness for everything to arise within us. So because we're listening to silence and because we're so open, our darkness starts coming up, it starts integrating, and it's just a seamless thing. It just is a very yin and yang, a very, I would say surrendered movement. So every now and then, because you're so open, because you've gone so deep within, you will hit on something that's been buried for possibly lifetimes. That's super, so much fear that you didn't have the, the amount of fear I felt last night. If I felt it 2.5 years ago, I didn't have the space to feel it. Let's just be real. But this deep fear, what I feel like was like a very violent death in a past life for being a light worker. And that's why so many of us resist our power in this life, is I think in past lives, we encountered a lot of possibly violence for being who we really are, for shining our light. You can look at the story of many sages, Jesus Christ being one of them. And I feel like maybe we have had those experiences. And so I felt something like that come up, that kind of terror come up. And I was like, okay, this terror comes up because it wants to know that it's safe again. It wants to be seen. And for so long, we just didn't have the space. We didn't feel safe enough to feel this amount of terror. And when we start meditating and opening and listening to the silence, and when we feel very connected to the support of the divine, it's like we finally can allow something this heavy, this intense to come up. And I feel like a night terror, in my own personal truth, is a night terror comes up because you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. Whatever, it's 3 or 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, it's pitch dark, you're by yourself, you wake up and it's there, and it's like, you have to see me now. You have to see me now. Do you want to keep expanding? Do you want to keep growing? Do you want to keep becoming more fearless? Well, you have to see this now. And I think over the last 2 days, I could feel something coming up, but I would, kind of just go get my phone. I'd go eat something. I'd go maybe watch a comedy thing, or maybe even just go for a walk. Something was wanting to be seen, and I wasn't quite ready to see it. But last night, guess what? At 2 in the morning with the lights off, all alone, boom, it came up. I had to see it. And you know what? It just wanted to know that it was okay, that it was okay to be seen in this lifetime. And that's all I felt. It's like, yes, it's okay. We're protected in this lifetime. This is the lifetime where it's all going to work out for us. We had to be willing to give our lives in past lives to show that we could arrive in this lifetime as a light worker to be of the amount of service that we need to be of. And through all the terrifying things that happen to us, we're born into this life with things that need healed. Like I said, as a little child, I had night terrors for no reason. Wasn't connected to anything in childhood. And I just feel like this terror wanted to know that it could be love. Because on the other side of fear is love. It just wanted to know that it was love. It didn't want me to let go of it. It didn't want me to be free of it. It wanted love. And so that's what I did. I sat with this terror. I opened to it. I let go of the mind's stories about it. And I just loved it. And I asked for help from my higher self, and my higher self was there fully for me to help me love it. And this morning in my meditation, I loved it some more and some more. And right now, I feel very good. I feel very peaceful. I feel just like so much more integrated. I feel deepened into my being, much more so than I did yesterday. And that's why I said at the beginning of this video, the night terror I experienced last night was a divine gift. Not only did it help me cultivate more compassion for those of you going through overwhelming amounts of terror in your life, but it also showed me that I now have the space and the capacity to love very traumatized aspects of my past selves. That I have now cultivated, this space so that they can feel safe to come up. And that I also came to the realization of what a night terror really is. It's just something we've been avoiding seeing, that now it has the opportunity to get our attention fully. Because, like I said, there's no escaping it in the middle of the night. It's coming up and it's going to be seen. And it's like, I don't care what form I have to take. I'm going to be seen right now. You need to see me. I need love. I'm tired of being buried. You've buried me for lifetimes. You've refused me for lifetimes. Now it's time to show me that I am love too. And that's what I've been doing, just showing this part of me that it is love too. So when you have crazy amounts of terror and anxiety arise, show these parts of you that they are love too. And if this is hard for you, ask your higher self for help. Ask God for help. Ask the universe for help, to help you to love these parts of you that are overwhelming you, to help you love this terror that is arising within you. So, day 52. Oh, the lessons. They keep coming in, and I love sharing them with you guys. I will see you in day 53. Namaste.